Humankind is on the cusp of a bold new era in space exploration, and thanks to rapid advancements in astrotechnology, we are now able to explore further into the universe than ever before. So stay tuned and don't go away, because the James Webb Space Telescope just took its largest image to date. First up, how is the James Webb Telescope able to go where no man has gone before? You're about to find out. Scientists are using the James Webb Space Telescope to see further into the universe than ever before possible. Recently, the telescope captured the largest image taken by a telescope in the history of space observation. The image is a tapestry made up of 690 individual frames taken with the James Webb Space Telescope's NIRCam, which is an acronym for Near Infrared Camera. The NIRCam covers an area of the sky that is 8 times larger than the JWST's first deep field image that was released on July 12, 2022. What makes the latest image so remarkable is that it's loaded with snapshots of some of the early galaxies in the universe, many of which have never been seen before. In addition to that, the team of scientists has managed to photograph one of the most distant galaxies ever captured. These new capabilities are truly remarkable and are giving scientists new data that they'll be studying for years to come. These data sets will help scientists understand things about the universe that were previously unknown to humankind. According to scientists from the Cosmic Evolution Early Release Science Survey, or CEERS for short, the JWST's new images are from a section of sky near the handle of the Big Dipper. The goal of the CEERS team is to demonstrate that the JWST can be used to perform extragalactic surveys, while the telescope performs other duties and observations. Next up, what does the future hold for the team at the Cosmic Evolution Early Release Science Survey? Let's take a look. CEERS team member and astrophysicist Rebecca Larson took to Twitter and said, "This is just epoch 1 of our observations. We are less than halfway through our full survey, and already our data have led to new discoveries and an unexpected but not unwelcome abundance of never-before-seen galaxies." On the CEERS website's blog, you can open the high-resolution images, zoom in, and explore until your heart's content, which is what Larson is encouraging astro lovers to do. If you're like me and consider yourself a backyard astronomer, you'll definitely want to hop over to CEERS's website and check this stuff, because to say it's really cool would be an understatement. Just a heads up though, the highest resolution images are quite large, so if you want to check them out, it would be best to look at them on a decent-sized screen, not your smartphone. The last thing Larson wrote on Twitter about the images was, "The sheer number of galaxies we have captured so far is awe-inspiring. If you do check out the images, there are some very interesting things that you should try and spot. First is a spiral galaxy, which is at redshift of z equals 0.16, and you'll also notice a large number of blue star-forming clumps and star clusters. There's also a system of galaxies at redshift 1.4 called the Space Kraken, and 2 interacting spiral galaxies at redshift z equals 0.7. Truly magnificent stuff. But most important of all, don't forget to check out Maisie's galaxy, one of the earliest galaxies ever observed by the human eye. Up next, are you ready to see Jupiter as you've never seen it before? Well, thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope, now you can. The world's newest and biggest space telescope just released jaw-dropping photos of Jupiter, the likes of which the human eye has never seen before. It's worth paying attention to Jupiter because, after all, it is the solar system's biggest planet. Recently, scientists released images captured by the James Webb Space Telescope showing Jupiter's northern and southern lights and a swirling polar haze. Jupiter's famous Great Red Spot is actually a storm that's big enough to swallow Earth, and it really stands out among the rest of the nearby storms. One photo in particular is a wide-field image of Jupiter, and it's truly remarkable. It even shows the faint rings around Jupiter and 2 small moons against a sparkling backdrop of galaxies. Planetary astronomer Imke de Pater from University of California, Berkeley, was at the helm of the observation team and could barely contain his excitement when seeing the exceptional images of Jupiter taken by the JWST. Pater said, "We've never seen Jupiter like this. It's all quite incredible. We hadn't really expected it to be this good, to be honest." The infrared images were artificially colored in blue, white, green, and yellow and orange so that the planet's features would pop out even more. The JWST is NASA and the European Space Agency's $10 billion project project and is the successor to the Hubble Space Telescope. The JWST was launched into space in the summer of 2021, and since then it has been capturing stunning infrared images of the universe. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're about to reveal the latest space news. Next up, what's the latest news from NASA's Artemis program? You're about to find out. Recently, NASA revealed some of the science and technology payloads that will be heading into deep space with NASA's Artemis 1 moon mission. We also learned that a Russian cosmonaut had to cut his spacewalk short due to a spacesuit battery malfunction. NASA's Artemis 1 mission may be unmanned, but a satellite the size of a shoebox called BioSentinel will carry microorganisms such as yeast into deep space and help scientists gain knowledge about the health risk of radiation in deep space. BioSentinel's primary mission objective is to monitor the vital signs of yeast and to learn how it responds to radiation. Observing yeast in space will help scientists understand the risks of space radiation to humans. So why use yeast to study the effects of radiation on humans? NASA's rationale is simple. Yeast has many of the same biological mechanisms as human cells, including those for DNA damage and repair in particular. The data collected from BioSentinel will help NASA better prepare astronauts for manned missions to the moon and further into outer space. NASA's Space Launch System and Orion spacecraft arrived at the launch pad on Wednesday, August 17th, and it took nearly 10 hours to complete the rocket's 6-kilometer trip from the building in which it was built to Launch Complex 39B at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. As I said, when the rocket launches, it will be unmanned. However, there will be 3 mannequins on board equipped with numerous sensors to measure radiation and vibration. Up next, what will happen after the launch of the first Artemis 1 rocket? Let's take a look. After the launch of the first Artemis 1 rocket, the capsule will fly around the moon and head back to Earth for a splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. NASA's first Artemis program mission will last roughly 6 weeks, and after Artemis 1, NASA will send a lunar orbiting flight with astronauts within 2 years, plus a lunar landing with astronauts sometime in 2025. Back on the ground, scientists are developing methods for using pairs of colliding black holes to measure not just the age of the universe, but also how rapidly it is expanding. Scientists will use cosmic background radiation to look at the earliest moments of the universe, but it's the in-between period that scientists are most interested in. Jokingly referred to by scientists as the teenage years, it's this period in the universe's history that's been most difficult to study. To help them in their quest for knowledge, researchers will be using the so-called spectral siren method to help them study the universe's teenage years. Another thing NASA will be studying is photobombing, but not the kind of social media photobombing you might be thinking about when someone makes a goofy face behind you in one of your pics. I'm referring to planetary photobombing. This happens when a telescope is pointed at an exoplanet and the light reflected from other planets in the same planetary system contaminates the view or image. It's annoying for NASA space observers, and they're trying to figure out how to either prevent it or significantly manage it. Finally, did astronomers in Europe just make a startling discovery? The European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope captured an image of NGC 7727. NGC 7727 is a massive galaxy created from the merger of 2 galaxies. But that's not the fascinating part. At the center of NGC 7727, scientists discovered a pair of supermassive black holes. The 2 supermassive black holes will eventually merge into one megamassive black hole, and it's the first time in space observation history that such a discovery has been made. If you look closely, you can see the 2 bright points at the center of the galaxy. These are the signs of the galactic merger that scientists are talking about. The galaxy's core consists of the original cores from the 2 galaxies. What's important to understand about galactic mergers is that they are often very violent and extraordinary events. As a general rule, though, it's exceedingly rare for individual stars to collide with each other because the distances between them are quite large compared to their sizes. If this isn't a bold new era in space exploration and observation, I don't know what is. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you for watching.